You made it to the final session. And before we speak anything else today, I want you to let that land. Because showing up consistently, faithfully, session after session is not a small thing. It is the whole thing. And today, we do not push forward. We do not chase more. We do not add to the list. Today, we open our hands, we lift our eyes, and we receive everything we asked for, everything we declared, everything we believed for when believing was the hardest thing on the list. This is the session where the declaring becomes the living. Say every word like someone who knows that what they asked for in faith is already on its way. I receive everything I have asked for, openly, gratefully, without shrinking what arrives to fit a smaller expectation. I am grateful for every session, every declaration, every morning I chose to show up for myself. What I have been asking for is on its way, and gratitude is the posture that makes me ready to receive it. I receive every answered prayer with the same faith I used to ask. Wide open hands, full heart, zero resistance. I am grateful for how far I have come, for every step, every lesson, every hard season that built me into this. I receive the blessing without minimizing it, without explaining it away, without shrinking it before I let it in. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is the language of someone who genuinely expects good things and recognizes them when they arrive. I receive more than I asked for, because the God who gives is not limited by the size of my request. I am grateful for what I have right now, expectant for what is still coming, and at peace with the space between. I receive the harvest of every seed I have planted in faith throughout this journey, all of it in its fullness. I am grateful for the people who believed in me when I could not fully believe in myself. I receive the open doors, the unexpected provision, the relationships I declared, and the peace I pursued. Gratitude opens something in me. It makes me capable of receiving more than I could hold when I was closed. I receive this season's reward, not just for what I did, but for who I became in the process of doing it. I am grateful for the delays that protected me, the detours that redirected me, and the doors that closed for my good. I receive answered prayer with the awe it deserves, and I never let familiarity make a miracle ordinary. I am grateful for the version of me that started this journey, and deeply proud of the version of me that carried it through. I receive everything with open hands, knowing that what I hold loosely, I am trusted with more of. I am grateful for the growth that happens in me that no one else could see. It is the most valuable thing I have built. I receive the fullness of this season, the breakthroughs, the healing, the clarity, the abundance, and the peace. Gratitude is how I honor what I have been given, and honoring it is how I make room for more. I receive the life I have been declaring, not someday, not eventually, but right now, in this breath, in this moment. I am grateful for this community, for every person who has shown up here and spoken truth alongside me. I receive the restoration of everything this journey cost me: time, energy, hope, returned with compound interest. I am grateful for every no that eventually led me to a yes that was worth far more than what I originally asked for. I receive the reward of faithfulness, the quiet, specific, deeply personal reward of someone who stayed when it was hard. I am grateful, not just for what arrived, but for the person the waiting, the building, and the trusting made me. I receive this moment as the arrival it is, the moment where the declaring becomes the living. I am grateful for everything this series has produced in me, and I carry it forward into every season that follows. I receive everything I have asked for. I am grateful for all of it, and I step forward into what comes next. I manifest the full, complete, and overflowing receipt of everything I have been asking for throughout this journey. I manifest that gratitude becomes the permanent posture from which I receive, give, and live going forward. I manifest that every seed planted in faith through this season breaks the surface into visible, beautiful harvest. I manifest that what I asked for in prayer, what I declared in faith, and what I believed for in the dark all arrives now. I manifest that receiving well becomes one of my defining characteristics, open-handed, unhurried, genuinely grateful. I manifest a life so full of answered prayers that gratitude becomes my most instinctive and most natural response. I manifest that the people, the provision, the peace, and the purpose I have been calling in all converge in this season. I manifest that every declaration made throughout this journey has been heard, recorded, and is now being answered. I manifest a harvest that exceeds the seeds I planted, because that is always how grace works. I manifest that gratitude for what has arrived opens my hands wider to receive what is still on its way. I manifest that what arrives in this season of receiving is proportional to the faithfulness of everything that preceded it. I manifest that the people watching my life witness a receiving so full and so clear that it becomes their reason to believe. I manifest complete closure of every prayer that felt unanswered, the answer arriving now in the right form. I manifest a joy that is not dependent on circumstances, but rooted in the deep, grateful knowledge of how far I have come. I manifest that every area of my life, finances, relationships, health, purpose, peace, receives in proportion to what was declared. I manifest that this final session becomes the seal on a season of extraordinary growth and the door to an even greater one. I manifest that what I receive in this season I steward with wisdom, share with generosity, and build with excellence. I manifest gratitude so deep it becomes the lens through which I see everything, every blessing recognized, nothing taken for granted. I manifest that the testimony I carry out of this season is one of the most powerful I have ever had to share. I manifest that the next season I step into is built on the foundation of everything this one produced in me. I manifest that receiving everything I asked for makes me more generous, not more possessive. Overflow flows through me. I manifest that this is not the end of a journey, but the beginning of the fullest chapter yet. I manifest that the version of me completing this series is more ready, more equipped, and more aligned than any previous version. I manifest that gratitude becomes a practice so deep that even hard things are eventually received as gifts. I manifest extraordinary abundance, financial, relational, spiritual, creative, arriving as the reward of faithful declaring. I manifest that the best seasons of my life are still ahead, and that I enter them as someone who already knows how to receive. I manifest that every word declared through this entire journey is alive, active, and producing fruit that will last. I manifest a life of perpetual gratitude and perpetual receiving, each feeding the other in an endless, joyful cycle. I manifest that I never forget how this journey felt, the faith it required, the growth it produced, the goodness it delivered. I manifest everything I have asked for, and I receive it with a full heart, open hands, and a gratitude that never runs dry. This is the final session, but it is not the end. Everything you declared across this journey is alive. Everything you believed for is in motion. Everything you planted in faith is still growing. And the version of you walking away from this series today is not who walked in at the beginning. You are different, more grounded, more expectant, more certain of who you are and what you were placed here to do. So receive everything, all of it, without apology, without shrinking it, without waiting to feel worthy. You showed up. That made you worthy. Now receive what showing up produced. Subscribe, because the daily practice of showing up for yourself does not stop here. A new series begins. Like this video and celebrate with every person who made it to the final session. Comment, "I receive it, all of it. I showed up, I did not quit, and the best is still ahead." This is your final declaration. Share this series with someone who needs to begin their own journey. Be the reason they start. This is your gratitude session. This is the final session. You showed up, you declared, you did not quit. Now receive everything that was always waiting for someone who would. Well done.